What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Drakes, and we're back for another Foul Plugs Moto show presented by the Collective Experience. As always, we've got my co-host with a very loud mouth, but an even prettier face. It is Mr. Jackson. What's going on, dude?
Oh, I thought that was for Kylee. Not much. Not much, Dave. Not much is going on. Just, we're in the thick of it. The beer league hockey season is rolling. And, I hurt my arm in adult rec league hockey. So what are you going to do, Dave? The things we do for the sports that we love.
I know. And guys, you're gonna notice that we've got a much more refined guest than Jackson and myself. We have the lovely Kylee Dutton on from Team Faith. What's going on, Kylee? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show. This is amazing.
We're so stoked to have you. We are huge fans of Team Faith. Those guys have been a huge supporter of the Collective Experience for years. They're always super friendly with our interns, our fan experience goers. If it wasn't for them, I probably would not eat on race day because we're just moving around so much. It's just so much to plan. And the riders over the years have been phenomenal, and you guys have just been so warm and welcoming. So I was so excited to get you on and talk more about it. I know, again, you guys are probably the reason why I have to work out so hard during race season because I'm always eating, but nonetheless, I'm still grateful. So Kylee, why don't we just get into it? Like, how did you get your start with Team Faith? And, more holistically, like, what is Team Faith for people who may not know about it?
Sure. So Team Faith, we are a faith-based Supercross team that our goal is to share the word of Jesus and say the word of Jesus in the industry, as well as just love on others well. We always go back to the verses of Matthew 22. It says, our greatest commandment is to love the Lord our God first, and then to love others well as the second commandment. So that's kind of what we do in the industry, as well as get to experience Supercross. And the best way we can love on others well is feeding the industry. So every race we go out there and we set up a huge dinner for all of the riders and their families and anybody working the industry. So we get a lot of flaggers and the security guards. We try to feed everybody that we can and just love on them while we're at the races.
It's phenomenal. The food is always good, and just a round of applause for those guys because you guys do so great. So we're really grateful for it. Super awesome. And yeah, for anybody that is curious, please check out Team Faith. They're such a great group of people, and we love it. Kylee, how did you get your start in the industry?
Sure. So I've grown up around dirt bikes my whole life, I'm sure, as most people in the industry have. My dad and my brother both raced growing up. My grandfather raced ever since I could remember. And my grandfather was very involved in my Baptist church here in New Mexico. And we would go to the races, and he felt a calling to dirt bikes and being a part of the Baptist church. So he started a group called Riders for Christ here in New Mexico, and we would travel to the races, and he would do a sermon every Sunday at each race. And so that's kind of where I got my start in the industry. But with Supercross, we would go to the races and enjoy on TV, but I never really dabbled in Supercross until we went to a Denver Supercross, and the tents, the big bold letters said Team Faith, and I was like, I have to figure out what this is and how I can be a part of this, because it was like my little Riders for Christ on a Supercross level. So I followed them on Instagram and eventually reached out to them, and they were like, yes, we're needing volunteers all the time because they travel to so many races and feed so many people, and it involves a lot of hands to get everything done that needs to be done at each race. And being the small world that I live in, I was actually a mechanic in a dirt bike shop here in Los Lunas, New Mexico at the time. Wow, and my boss knew Kevin Johnson really, really well. And before I knew it, they were like, yep, she's on the team. So it was just kind of a small town, small world kind of situation. But I've been a part of it for 2 years now and going to be my third season in January.
That's awesome. You do some really cool stuff too with like sort of like doing your interviews and content from under the tent, which is really cool. So it kind of gives us like a behind the scenes look at the inner workings, which is really great. We're all about behind the scenes stuff with the collective, obviously. So that's been super fun. What's been like the most fun thing for you? I know I ask Jackson this all the time, you know, being in the industry and stuff, but like, what's the most exciting thing for you being part of like the Supercross industry?
Oh my gosh, so many things. I mean, I just love the sport. So it's just being around the fans, being around the riders. It's just so exciting. I think my favorite moment was right when I started with Team Faith. They actually brought me on as like a part-time mechanic, part-time just volunteer, and I was helping wherever I could. And I got to mechanic for Isaiah Goodman, and that was just like the most incredible experience, getting to be like on the track, behind the gates, waiting for him to qualify. I mean, it was really, really incredible. But other than that, I think just getting to share the gospel while being at a sport that we love so much. So
I like that a lot. That's
how cool is it for that just our sport is like the only one where it's like, you know, you reach out to a team, you're like, hey, I'd like to come out and help out. And they're like, sure, yeah, we'd love to have you. And the next thing you know, you're like out on the track with a pit board and markers, and you're like screaming at some mechanic in a headset. Like no other, you can't reach out to a football team and then all of a sudden, you know, you're running an Oklahoma drill with the lineman. Like, it's just like,
your offensive coach.
Oh no! Yeah,
you're calling shots for Brady and the Bucks.
That's hilarious. When I first talked to Team Faith, I was solely going for volunteering. I did not think I was going to be thrown into the wrenches, but they did. They put me right up there and sent me to the gate. And they were like, "Good luck." So it was fun.
She thought she was signing up for some more like loaves and fishes kind of things, and she ended up a fisher of men pretty quick.
Oh, I like that.
I can make these jokes all day, Dave.
I do. That's why I love you, Jackson. I feel like we can get really churchy really easy here.
I love it.
Dude, you know what we're gonna do? Oh, so it was super funny. I was talking to Mary recently, and we were talking about like different churches. So like she's Catholic, I grew up Baptist, and she was talking. She's like, "Yeah, the first time I went to a Baptist church with you, I thought the preacher had a speech impediment." I'm like, why? She's like, because like Black church, they like speak in like a different way, like, you know, like it's different. Not even like Black church, but like, dude, if you guys follow like Elevation Church or something like that with like Stephen Furtick or any one of these guys, like there's a cadence that the church has, you know, once they start getting really enthused. And she's like, yeah, dude, it was a very different deal. So yeah, it was pretty funny to see like the different versions of like I love Jesus out there.
That's right.
It's pretty good. So like through the work that you guys do, Kyle, you guys meet like a ton of people. Like, who's been one of your favorite people to meet or interact with at the races, either on a regular basis or just like a one-off deal?
Oh my gosh, we've met so many, and I'm a lot of the times behind the scenes, but oh my gosh. Favorite person I've met. I guess for me, like the most exciting person to meet was I got to meet Chris Bonds, which is the producer of Supercross, and I got my degree in sports broadcasting. So I think I was really excited to like get to meet somebody behind the scenes that produces all of the TV components. And then, yeah, I think that was kind of like the most exciting, but I mean, I get to meet privateers all the time. So that's so cool just to see their walk and how they've gotten into Supercross and different mechanics and their backgrounds as well.
That's super cool. Who's your favorite, Jackson?
Mine was Dave Drake's Davy Cakes from the Collective Experience.
There we go. There we go.
Dude, I was like, there's no way that somebody can be just that thick and that beautiful at these races.
That's why you're my show pony, dude. That's why I love you.
This like super white supremacist sport.
this quasi cultural sport. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was walking down the pits one day, and you know Mackenzie Angle, right? Mac. He was AJ's mechanic from like years ago.
Oh,
he does Viva stuff. I was walking down the pit area, and he goes, "Damn, that boy's thick!" and runs over and slaps right in the butt, picks me up and runs with me. And I was like, dude, please, they're gonna think that I have a boyfriend now, and it's gonna be so weird. You're so much bigger than me. I can't fight you off.
So Kylee, let me ask you, like, do you ever run into an issue, you know, like you guys are set up, you're feeding people, you're helping out, and like Dave's going for his third plate and some of the privateers haven't even had their first.
Come on.
Like, do you have to tell them, like, listen, man, let's store up some small treasures before we,
Thankfully, I personally haven't run into that. I think so many riders are like such in a big rush to get a plate, eat, and then get ready for the night show. So thankfully, they're not usually going back for second, thirds, like so much. But
Neither am I.
But we do. It's sad when we have to turn people away, like because we're out of food. But we make a set amount of food every race, and sometimes we go through all of it, and sometimes we have so much left over. So it varies.
What's let me ask you this. What's the best dish that you guys have rolled out there? And what's the one that like you took a swing on and people were like, no, I'm good. I don't need more. What was it?
Well, we cook the same thing.
There has to have been one.
There has to be. We cook the same thing every race. So we have the same meal. But I've heard that the mac and cheese is the best. I personally don't like mac and cheese, but everybody rants and raves that it's better than Chick-fil-A. So I guess you could compare it to that. I'm not too sure. But I think the best is probably like a grilled chicken. Like they make a really good grilled chicken, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Yeah. The grilled chicken's pretty good. I will say the pulled pork's pretty good, but I don't touch the pork. It's haram. So, in case you guys are wondering, mixing a little bit of Muslim culture with Christianity. But
dude,
no, the chicken's super good.
Your cultural makeup is like a shotgun blast of just like whatever, man. It's like,
That's good. That's so true. So Kylee, obviously, like being faith based with your team is like it's not many teams have that added variable with their setup. Like, is there something that like culturally shocked you about this sport, like, or that continuously culturally shocks you? Coming from like a faith based background, that you're like, geez, this is super secular, or this is like super out there, or super crazy.
Not necessarily. I think
I know we have stories. Me and Jackson have some stories, but
yeah. I think the craziest things is like, I don't know. We live in like such a social media world where like everything is blasted on social media. So I don't think necessarily there was like one thing that was like culturally shocking to me. But I don't know. It kind of just depends on like the situation. And, like I haven't been in a specific situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I do not feel safe. I love my team. They are all very protective over me. And, I have been in like, I have had men trying to talk to me being a woman in the industry, and all the guys in the team are very protective of me. So thankfully I haven't had to deal with too many issues or anything too crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, Dave gets the same thing all the time. What's the?
I knew it.
Can you tell we're friends?
Maybe an easier way to ask that question is like looking out at all the teams that you've either had something to do with or that you've just seen week in, week out at the races. Looking out at all the teams, which one would you say has Jesus with them the most, and which one needs Jesus the most?
Yeah.
Oh, I would hate to call somebody out, but
we're doing it. Let's go.
That's what this show is. I don't know if you were briefed on this show, but that's what this is.
Calling people out. Obviously, like the concern of the OnlyFans being in the industry kind of is a shocker. And then like, I don't know, when I grew up, there was no like, right, there's sponsors across the board, but there was never like a beer sponsor until we had Twisted Tea. And I think that was kind of shocking because we never, like, you look at NASCAR and there's, right, Coors, Bud Light, they're all a sponsor, but Supercross was always wholesome. Like, they didn't allow those like beer names to sponsor, but we do have Twisted Tea now. So I guess those are two that I would be like,
yeah. I feel like Twisted Tea gets a pass. I mean, it's like 2%. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the beer sponsor, it was big in the 80s and 90s, like all the way up through the end of the 90s.
Okay.
But then they passed a rule that was it underage? Like if you couldn't drink, if you weren't of drinking age, you couldn't have a beer sponsor or an alcohol sponsor on your bike, which makes sense. So when they made that rule, I mean, most teams are made up of 50 to 75% kids under 21. So all the alcohol companies pretty much pulled out altogether, which even like with that Suzuki team, there were kids on the 250 program that were under 21. So only the 450s had the Twisted Tea branding in that. But the OnlyFans is for everybody. That's for all ages. So that's different.
Yeah.
It's a wholesome family, like Hooters, you know, very wholesome and very family oriented. I will say, so
a lot of very
fans,
very family oriented, a lot of step family oriented stuff. I'd say that's how that works.
OnlyFans breaking up families and creating stepdads since 2022. I will say, I know Dave Pulley's one of my guys, and he is sponsored by OnlyFans, but he does like the OnlyFans as like a Patreon almost kind of deal. Like, come check out this behind the scenes riding. Thankfully, when he pulls out his like studio lights to like record with the OnlyFans background, everyone's like, "What the heck is he making content right now?" I'm like, no. We're literally, it's an interview for like the mobile home or like the bike, the bike build or something, you know. So it's like, no, dude, it's not what this is, man. Start pulling out the black couch or something. It's like, no, that's not what it is. We're not doing that. We're going over, like, we're thanking the sponsors, you know. We're like showing a cool new Dunlop or something. So that part gets pretty funny. I wonder how that stuff's viewed from like the fans of the sport. Like when they do see the OnlyFans or stuff like that, like if they really do view it as like a super taboo deal, or if it's like really intriguing or interesting or pulls them in. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's almost like, I don't know, at this point, I wouldn't really give it too much of a second thought. Like, I know it was a big industry shakeup for everybody in the industry when it happened. It was like, that's crazy. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like anybody outside the sport, it just, I mean, especially when you like see these guys and meet these guys and see that these are like racers just trying to pay their phone bill. You know, it's like, listen, I get it. Yeah. They're pretty much taking any money that they can to keep going, you know. My question for Kylee is, if OnlyFans starts coming around, setting up their own tent, and they also start serving a really squishy mac and cheese, is it going to be like on site between the teams? Is it going to be? Like, how are we going to?
We're throwing down.
Handle that.
Some anointed knuckles going down, dude.
Right.
And by the way, would immediately get better, numbers than Supercross. Like,
dude, if Kylie's out there just throwing down some like biblical backhands, 100%, dude. She's immediately 100K followers.
Yeah, I think it would come down to prayer. Like, we would just all be praying.
Everybody's on their knees.
We're lovers, not fighters.
You gotta, Dave. You gotta get it.
Back to you, Dave.
Get us back on
the. So Kylee, like I said, a lot of people are in support of Team Faith and stuff like that. Like, you mentioned that it's a lot of prep work. Walk us through like an average day at the races for Team Faith for yourself and the staff.
Sure. It starts on Friday. We all try to be there on Friday just because we do have so much setup. And so we have to set up all the chairs, tables, tents. The mechanics have to set up their toolboxes and have all that ready. And I think that's just standard across the board for every team, is all the setup and the outside canopies, things like that. Just prep for that. But for the food, we start on Friday. A lot of the things are frozen, so we have to start thawing things out. Mostly like the proteins and stuff. We have a huge salad bar that we prep the day before, so making sure we have everything ready. Cutting up anything from fruits and vegetables to, getting every boiler and every crock pot out and ready and lined and ready to go. We also serve snacks throughout the days on Friday and Saturday, and we are big for our coffee. So yeah, everybody comes by for their coffee. So we get up early on Saturday morning and start making coffee and making sure it's out there for the first race, at least at the first qualifying, and making sure everybody's got their coffee and all juiced up before we have to hit the track. So.
It's not a Supercross Saturday morning unless you smell the coffee from Team Faith and Brian's walking around saying hey to everybody.
That's right.
That is Supercross Saturday morning.
That's right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, so that's mainly like the biggest thing is the prep. We're cooking food all day long. And thankfully we don't have to be like standing there cooking it. It's a lot of like put it in the crock pot and check it every hour kind of thing. But it takes all day long for us to cook everything. And then sometimes the race schedule moves around. So sometimes it's earlier. So the earlier the races are, the earlier we have to prep. And then of course, it kind of goes down after that. But after we feed the whole industry, then we have to clean everything up, put away the canopies, the tables, the chairs. Everything has to be put away before we can go enjoy the night show ourselves. So it's a lot of work, and the more hands, the faster it goes. But it's really not too bad.
Like, yeah, it's definitely an all hands on deck operation. Do you like the days when like the races are over by like 6? Do you like those races?
Personally, I do. I'm in bed by 8 kind of girl. So it's nice.
I love that.
Yes, but
yeah, same. I'm back in my hotel. I'm showered. Dude, I've already eaten. I'm getting cozied up. Nothing beats that. If you've been part of like going to just so many races, like going to bed at 1 a.m. is just so tiring. And usually everyone flies out super early in the morning on Sunday. So like you barely get time to sleep. So being in your hotel room by like 7 or 8 is just, it is beautiful.
The best.
It is wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, I just, I put my hair in a bun. I FaceTime Jackson while I'm doing my skincare, and
I
do
feel
that.
like
You hang up first.
Dave doesn't go to races just based on the fact that he knows he wouldn't get back to the room until like 1 a.m.
No, well, there's been a couple times. So like I will say whatever I don't think it was what is it? Jersey? Was that like an early one last year?
They didn't
one of them. I can't remember. There was a super early one. Literally the races were over at 6. I was in my hotel room by like 8. Other times, dude, there's another time where it ended early at like 6 again. I was not home or not back in my hotel until like midnight. Don't know where the time went, what happened, but it depends. You're right. So it really does depend. But the nights that I do get a chance to get out early and get to my hotel, very, very lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, nothing, honestly, like there's something to like being around all day and then leaving to go watch the main events back in your hotel room.
It's amazing. It's so good. Have you done that, Kylie?
Oh yeah, all the time. Sometimes we'll like pack up everything, the rig is ready to go, and we're all sitting in the RV on like one couch watching the race instead of walking to the stadium to go watch the race.
It's great, and I know people are gonna be listening to this thinking like, you guys are out of your mind. Why would you fly to a race and not watch the race? But if you've been to so many of them, literally watching it in the comfort of your own home or like a comfy bed or something, nothing beats that.
Yeah, dude, and it's not even just us. I've seen like racers and mechanics be like, we qualified. All right, whatever. Let's go, I guess.
Like, oh man, I got a race. That's so true, Jackson. Oh, that's so true. That cracks me up. Is there a race event that's your favorite, Kylie, that you like really look forward to every year?
I was thinking about this the other day, and I feel like people would probably laugh at me, but I think my favorite stadium I've been to is Phoenix. And I don't know why.
It's a big floor plan.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's like the pits are always set up nicely, and like I feel like the traffic's always manageable. And so I think Phoenix is probably my favorite. And I also have like a lot of memories being in New Mexico. We're so close to Phoenix, so
Gotcha.
That was kind of like our go-to race there in Denver. And so, yeah, I think that's probably my favorite. My least favorite is Houston, though. Traffic is insane in Houston. Yeah, it's been my least favorite so far.
Is it just the traffic, or is there anything else in Houston that like kind of turns you off?
I got lost in Houston, and it took me 2 hours to go 12 miles. I was like, I could run this faster. So yeah, it was
Houston's
rough.
It's a little rough to get lost in Houston.
Dave, you'll have to get Jamie on here to tell the story about the Detroit Supercross 2 years ago, where he lost the van downtown.
Oh no!
And they like split up to look for it, and Jamie ended up having to like be a bodyguard for a monster girl who was like also trying to find her way back. And Jamie was like, "Oh well, we'll give you a ride. We just have to find our van." And then they're just walking around Detroit for like 3 hours, like after the race. Like this is at like 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm. God bless. Yeah, I want to hear that story. Yeah. That's lit. Dude, those poor monster girls, man. I feel like they just get the short end of the stick and just get oogled all day, and it's super creepy, and it's not like, I feel like for like us, Jackson, like it's nice when like, you know, somebody's mom is like, what a handsome man, and like they want to give you a hug and, oh, look at these muscles. But could you imagine if some like big beer belly dude holding the monster's like, you're hot, like that would freak me out, dude. I'd be like, ew, I gotta get out of here. Excuse me.
It's funny with that specifically because it's like the end goal with them is like maybe they'll get to marry like a 10th to 17th place guy, you know. Like it's like that's as good as it'll get. No, and this isn't talking bad about them at all, but it's like all of that. I mean, they're signing up for it. No one's making them do it, as far as I know, unless there's some monster conspiracy that we don't know of. They're just getting trafficked in. But like,
that's for the next episode.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're gonna go deep behind the scenes and really figure out what's going on. Just crates. Yeah. But yeah, it's like that is the promotion, is that like maybe, you know, somebody racing for Dave Drake's OnlyFans team is like, what's up? you wanna make this official? And they're like, I guess, I don't know. This sucks, dude.
I've got some really good friends that are monster girls, and I just like, I get like, I see the story like firsthand, but also hear the stories and stuff, and I'm just like, man, like, they don't pay you guys enough to be able to like.
You're friends with all of them for the collective experience, right? For work.
Yes, for the work.
Yeah, that's what Mary told me. She's like, yeah, he's always having to work with all these monster girls all the time.
Oh, come on, dude. Don't do that. Come on.
I think a lot of them are trying
to listen to him, Kylie.
I think a lot of them are trying to start their modeling career. So like this was like one way to start.
Yeah. Could be.
I know one girl from my hometown was a monster girl, and that was her start to her modeling.
Oh, did she enjoy the process or like the experience?
I
have no idea. I don't know her personally.
She stopped talking to her as soon as she signed to be a monster girl.
Who? Kylie? Never heard of her.
She said, yeah, that's cool. Nice knowing you.
Kylie can't sit with us anymore.
Oh, she reached out for help. She was like, this guy keeps trying to get me on the collective experience. I don't know what this is. Like, I can't get him off of me. She's like, you're on your own, sweetie. Hit the road. More mac and cheese for you.
No more mac and cheese. Oh, no. That's too good. So, Kylie, you've said you've been with the team. This will be your 3rd year. Like, what are your ultimate goals? Like, and like, what would be like your dream job to have in the industry? Like, where would you love to see like your efforts like lead you?
So right now for Team Faith, I'm doing like all their social media, and I get to go to the races and do that. I got my degree in sports broadcasting, so I have a bachelor's in sportscasting. And so like my main goal is to either be like a social media manager or a trackside reporter in some kind of way. Like those are kind of like the end goals. But I also love so many sports. I could probably be versatile and not just do Supercross, although that would be my favorite answer. But so yeah, I think either social media or reporting or interviewing, something like that. That's kind of like my end goal.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. That's
in your opinion, from New Mexico as an American, what is the best live sport to witness in person?
In person. Oof.
There is a correct answer here, and I know it, but I'm letting you answer.
I feel like I should be saying Supercross. But personally, I'm a huge baseball fan, so MLB.
All right.
Either
it's
one.
Wrong, but that's fine. That's fine.
Wrong.
Totally wrong, Kylee, but cool. Yeah.
What is it?
Dave, have you been to a hockey game?
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a
professional NHL hockey game.
Connecticut had a pro team,
but like NHL, like National League, like.
No, I was supposed to go to a Bruins game a couple times, and it just fell through. So no, I know,
okay,
dude. I know.
We're gonna make it happen. And it's gonna dress warm because your Caribbean ass is gonna be just freezing up in the stands.
It's gonna look like Cool Runnings, where I'm like pulling off like icicle dress. You know what's crazy? I'm really good at ice skating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at hockey, but I'm really gnarly at ice skating.
Nice. All right.
This must be like my skater's ankles.
You, I wish more people knew how great hockey was live because it's crazy how good it is.
Yeah. No, I definitely got to check that out. So, Kylee, before we let you go, we're at the end of I guess like the major portion of the race season for 2024. We just had MX of Nations. Outdoors was awesome. We have maybe one or two off-season races that people like will actually follow along with. What has been like one or two highlights from this season that you've like really like enjoyed seeing or like really stood out to you? Could be in any class, any news, anything.
I think the thing that stood out the most to me was probably Austin Faulkner and like his brain surgery and everything. I've been following that. I'm interested to see how he's going to come back and rebound from all of that he's gone through this last year. And now him and his wife are having a baby. So I think there's so many like major moments happening in Austin Faulkner's life right now. So I'm interested to see how he can like handle all that, maintain all that. And then I don't know if you can see, I have Trey Kennard's poster up here because he's my all-time favorite. And so all that Trey Kennard went through and like rebound from was like such a cool thing to experience and watch from an outside perspective. And I think his endurance was like so strong. So I'm interested to see if Austin Faulkner can like take the same endurance that Trey Kennard had and kind of apply it to his racing. We'll see.
So he's off of Cowie for next year. He's going to Team Triumph. Do you think that will be a hindrance, or do you think that'll help him, Kylee? And I want to hear it from you too, Jackson.
I'm kind of on the fence. I think leaving Cowie is a smart option, but he's going to a team who's pretty new, pretty fresh. So depending on like what his training is going to look like, he's either going to come out of the gate swinging, or it's going to take some time to find his groundings again.
Kind of what I thought. What are you thinking, Jackson?
I feel like you and I like talked about this like last year when he first got hurt. But like I think there isn't a better team that he could go to because like they're just trying to get their footing in the industry. So it's like, dude, going from pro circuit where, you know, getting a fourth in a 250 regional Supercross race is like, it's fine, but it's not great, you know, to a Triumph team where it's like, dude, if he podiums in the first couple rounds, like they're going to be ecstatic. Yeah. That's a huge, you know, so like just the bar being like, he'll have his personal bar that's high because he knows what he's capable of. And like, you know, I don't know, maybe he told them when they were like, you know, playing hibachi chef with his brain, like, listen, if you see the fear center of my brain, just go ahead and
wipe that
toss that sucker, you know?
Yeah.
So who knows what all kind of aftermarket parts he's working with up in his noggin. But on top of that, to move to a team where it's like, dude, just go out there. Like, we're ecstatic to have you. Like, we know you're a championship caliber rider, but like, I mean, they might say like, of course, like all eyes are, you know, teams will do that thing where it's like, well, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't trying to win the championship. But it's like Triumph has never been there, and they don't have, you know, realistically, it doesn't seem like they'd be the guys. So like, dude, yeah, the bar as far as the team success is so low that I feel like taking that pressure off, dude. Like, think about going in and out of the pro circuit truck and seeing every number 1 plate on that door.
Yeah.
You know, after just like for years getting your ass kicked by other riders, yourself, the track, the bikes, you know, to then just go into a fresh, like a clean slate team. That's just like, dude, we're just happy to have you. Like, I think he'll flourish under that.
I think so too. And I think he'll like the bike. I think it'll I wouldn't say like surprise him because he's used to good bikes, right? But I think he's really going to gel with the bike really quickly. I don't know why I feel that way.
A lot of people that I've talked to lately are switching to Triumph as their personal bikes.
Everyone says it's so balanced.
James Manny, we both know. He 2 years ago or a year ago went full Yamaha 250, 450. He's sold them both. He just got a Triumph 250 and ordered a 450. Mitchell Prescott, I think he just said that he's going to be going Triumph, or he wants to try one. Like, he's been trying them at class and stuff. Like, I've been hearing really good things about that bike, which is really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like it'd be a cool bike and a cool transition for him. So, well, yeah, I'll be keeping an eye out for that one. Same question for you, Jackson. What's like one or two big standouts from 2025 so far?
I think just Jet coming back after, like, you know, it's just, you're only as good as your last round, and no matter what his record was, like, coming back and saying like, no, I'm still him. Like, don't worry about, you know, everybody else. Like, he just smacked everybody around at SMX, which was pretty awesome to see. So, like, and it's kind of nice having that, because if we didn't have Super Motocross, he would have been out for the rest of outdoors. We wouldn't have seen him until Anaheim 1, you know?
Yeah.
And people would have been like, well, we don't know. Is he still there? Is like, did everybody else catch up? Like, it's all that talk. And I feel like there hasn't been an ounce of that talk yet. So that was, I'm happy for Chase that he got a title, because I think it's all about windows and who you're racing. And if Jet didn't get hurt, like, who knows if he would have ever won another title again, just you know, compared to the rest of the field. I don't know. I thought it was really good racing, like, top to bottom this year. Like, no one was really handed any trophies, you know, and it was just all around. I don't know. I can't really think of too many real standout moments, but like, just all in all, we had like a good solid year of like competitive racing throughout the entire seasons, you know? Yeah.
No, this year was, I can't think of like a dull moment, whether it was 250 or 450, some storyline. We had good racing. We had something to like keep us interested, and like, it was super cool. So I like that. One thing I will mention, that scrub that Jet had by Tomac was so sick. And like, was it Tomac?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sick. It was amazing. But it almost reminded me of like when someone's like at the court and gets dunked on, like that level of like disrespect, because it was so flat and so fast. I just pictured like when that happened, just people running around going, oh, and like, you know what I mean? Going crazy.
Yeah.
Like that. I want to just highlight that as like, that is the new like breaking ankles. Like a nasty scrub right by somebody is the new, like, I just got dunked on, dude.
Especially because like he did not have to do it.
He like, did it. Exactly.
Tomac moved over. Tomac was like, dude, go for it. And he was like, and just like laid it over, gave him the finger, pulled his pants down, gave him the helicopter, landed, went and won $1 million. Like, dude, He did not. He was doing too much. He was extra.
Kissed his girl on the cheek, wheelied.
Yeah. Literally. Smacked his ass on the way by.
That's the next one, dude. That's what we gotta perfect that, dude. Just scrubbing right by somebody, give him a nice pat in the butt, and then that's we're gonna come up with that move.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you gotta time. Yeah, that's gonna be the new. You gotta like sponsor a special prize. You know how like they used to do the privateer award and like there's a whole shot cash prize.
Yeah.
If someone can win a main event this year while smacking a privateer's ass over the finish line jump, they get the collective experience. Dave Drake's, $1,000 gift card to Team Faith mac and cheese.
There we go.
We pulled it all together.
So, come full circle. Kylee,
we
we're
did
going to hop on that, get some social work around and some content, and we'll make it happen.
All right.
Yeah, we'll call it the Turn the Other Cheek Award. There it is.
Got a name and everything.
I love that. That's too good. That's too good. Oh my gosh, this is fun. This is super fun. Kylee, I gotta thank you for coming on and humoring us for as long as you did. We really appreciate Team Faith. We've got some cool content up for you guys that are still watching. We do some cool behind the scenes bike walk arounds with some of the Team Faith crew and their bikes, the effort that they put forth for privateers and their teams and their families. I know I'm speaking for so many people out there in the industry when I say, Kylee, the work that you and Brian and the team do, we're just so grateful for it, and it really matters and really makes a difference to so many people. So thank you for what you do. We hope we can continue to keep bringing people around the tent, around the rig, and keep sharing in the fellowship with you guys. Go support those guys. And as always, support the people who support us. We got to thank FXR, who's coming back on board with us for 2025. A huge thank you to Flow Vision Goggles, Evans Power Coolant, EVS, Team Creo, Rip and Ruts. Those guys are always phenomenal. Overshare Advice and Planning. We got to give a huge shout out to Phoenix Handlebars, as well as the Moto Academy and all that they do. Of course, huge thank you to Jackson for supporting us as well. And guys, Partzilla as well, a new supporter of ours. So go check them out. We're going to link them below. A lot of cool things coming out with those guys. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The more that you guys support us, the more that we can do and help give back to the industry. We support you guys. And the program is coming back for 2025, and it's new because you get to bring a friend for free. That's right. So with every admission, every package, you guys get a pass for yourself, but also one for your friend as well. Go to thecollectivexp.com. We also have our internship program, which is back, where you guys can turn your passion, your love for the sport into a career. We hold your hand the whole way and make sure you get integrated in a team like family. Let's help you make your dreams come true. Thecollectivexp.com, at thecollectivex on Instagram. And we can do more cool stuff with you, and maybe you could be the next Kylee working for a team. So hit up your people, hit up your boys at thecollectivexp.com. Check you, Jackson. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you guys pretty soon.
Okay, see you, buddy.
See you.